Hello, lovelies. It is I, Gent. Whoa, hold up. What did I just say? Did I say Gent and not Squirtle Hero? And that's because, well, just to tell the truth, I've kind of changed my mind about the name of the channel, and I'm just gonna change it to something that kind of is more befitting of what I usually do. I'll go with more the kind of persona idea I've got on my Twitter, so I guess that kind of makes it a bit of a difference. So on that note, just before we begin this video, like a simple discussion, I'm just going to change some of the things that I do on this channel, but I will try to make more videos, do some Let's Plays and more kind of review stuff. Plus I also have some best of the year kind of compilation videos I kind of want to make on this channel as well. Well, let's get started on today's topic. And today's topic is that because with the kind of in the horizon we can see that the Switch 2 is about to arrive, so I just kind of want to make a little discussion of what I think about the normal Switch and the Switch Lite, and just see, like, as you can see from the title, why I actually still really like the Switch and still really enjoy using it and playing it. And I know people have already have said that quite early on in its lifetime, just saying it's very underpowered and it's not really exactly the best system out there. But in its defense, I kind of want to see that at least it has the games to, you know, override those flaws and actually be like, well, some of the games made specifically for Switch are good and fun, but, you know, if some of the ports that have been added to it aren't exactly the most powerful or the best, there are loads of games on the Switch that I still really enjoy playing and still really want to get back into. So it's not just some of the new releases that I think have really hit them out of the park. I think some of the older ones, like, well, older, quote-unquote, but ones from a couple of years ago now, so like Metroid Dread, Legend of Zelda, and the Link's Awakening remake, the Splatoon 2, Splatoon 3, all of those I think are still really enjoyable. Well, with Splatoon I haven't really touched it in like over a year because I've just kind of had my interests elsewhere, so I've not really bothered playing it, if that's okay to say. But I have not really beaten the game either. I haven't really continued the single person mode, a single player mode, let's say. And I haven't really downloaded anything. I haven't even partaking in any of the Splatfests because I'm just kind of not feeling it right now, and kind of got my interest elsewhere. But things like, you know, Animal Crossing or The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, I still really want to get back into and actually continue on from where I left off. And then the recent games like Zelda Echoes of Wisdom and yeah, those new releases like The Thousand Year Door, those are really good, and I'm just having such a good time playing them. Though I haven't really, again, not really touched The Thousand Year Door. I've played a bit of it, but I think from what I've played is really good and really fun. And definitely for someone who's actually grew up playing Super Paper Mario, it's such I can see why the fans love it so much, and it's quite a breath of fresh air compared to a lot of more kind of intense or strategy kind of focused RPGs. But yeah, so that I think is really fun, and a lot of the new games, again, like I say, I can't wait to get my hands on it. I can't wait to finish. But to acknowledge the elephant in the room, let's just talk about how underpowered the Switch is. It doesn't really seem to be able to run any of the kind of, except for like ported indie games that actually work really well, like Celeste. But things like, you know, The Witcher and Stray, the recent release of Stray, it kind of doesn't seem to be performing that well. And I'm not quite sure what exactly the reason why the hardware kind of struggles with it. But I imagine it's because, you know, their games made more so for the Xbox or for PlayStation 4 or 5. So I imagine that because they use a lot more power, that the Switch can't quite handle it and, you know, lags a little bit. But yeah, so I think, you know, they're trying their best, and with some of the kind of smaller releases, like indie releases, like the aforementioned Celeste, then I think it usually does a bit better and people can get into it a bit more. I played like 90 hours of Celeste on that note. But yeah, I definitely acknowledge these limitations and that it can be a bit like some of the games maybe a bit laggy, like they don't load too quickly and are a bit more slow paced compared to the original release. And another thing that I think what makes the Switch good for me, and this is like the original gimmick of the Switch that really only was really only relevant and really only appropriate for just the normal Switch and not the Switch Lite, because that's the whole kind of, you can play it on the TV but then also play it on the go. And I don't care what anyone says, I actually really like it, just being able to play an amazing game like Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom or Mario Odyssey. It's so good and it's so fun and I really enjoy it. I really don't care what any naysayers say about the Switch these days or any criticisms of it. Well, I don't mind criticism, but it's in like, you know, just kind of making new stuff up of saying, oh, the Switch is getting old, and yeah, it is getting old, but it's holding up fairly well thanks to the games that are on it, is my point. And I think my final point of why I really like the Switch is because I think it actually holds really great potential of how Nintendo could move forwards and see what else they could do to maybe mix things up and change things up a little bit. But hopefully they do find a way to maybe update their way of making games and software to being a bit more modern and not super backwards, because that's one of the things I do acknowledge about the Switch, is that it does seem a little bit kind of archaic to an extent, and not as modern or as hip as let's say the PS5 or the Xbox or whatever. But the main point of this entire video is that I still really like using my Switch, because I like playing the games, I like connecting with others, and I enjoy what it has to offer and what it holds for the future of Nintendo stuff. And that was my gushing of why I still really enjoy the Nintendo Switch. And please don't go away saying, oh, Gent is just a Nintendo fanboy. You know, I like Nintendo a lot, but I do acknowledge that they've made some not very great choices in recent years. Like, for example, the payment of expansion online or whatever. Then, you know, that's just greedy and just kind of, I think, really dumb, because it's like, who would now buy this? Except for me, I guess. But, yeah, if people are, like, short of money, it's, like, incredibly just not great. But other than that, yeah, I like the Switch, I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to whatever console Nintendo has to offer next. That's that for this video, so thank you so much, my guys. And I'll probably talk about another thing, like maybe another kind of Switch 2 related content video at some point. And maybe also finally begin a Let's Play video. And so yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. So see ya.